Welcome back to Apex Sci-Fi. In the Outer Rim, where the light of the galactic core is nothing more than a faint memory, there is a name that people whisper when they want someone found, and a name they pray they never hear when they are hiding. That name is Silas Vane. Vane is not a man who hunts for glory, and he is not a man who hunts for blood. He is a man who hunts for the contract. He lives in the gray spaces between the law and the lawless, piloting a ship called the Vesper that can slip through a blockade like a ghost through a wall. He is a human who has perfected the art of the silent capture, a hunter who wears a mask of black glass and a hood of shadows. But Silas Vane has a code. He does not take hits. He does not kill for coin. He brings them back alive, or he does not bring them back at all. To Vane, a bounty is a puzzle and the galaxy is a very large board. This is the story of the dead signal, and the day Silas Vane had to decide if his reputation was worth more than his soul. The contract came from a high-ranking official in the Central Hegemony. The target was Kalen Voss, a former intelligence officer who had disappeared into the Veil of Whispers. The Veil is a radioactive nebula where the laws of physics are distorted by heavy ion storms. It is a place where ships go to die and signals go to vanish. The Hegemony claimed Voss was a traitor who had stolen classified military codes. The bounty was the largest Vane had seen in a decade. Dead or alive, the contract said. But Vane only checked the box for alive. The Vesper drifted through the purple clouds of the Veil, its sensors screaming as the radiation battered the hull. Vane sat in the pilot's seat, his face hidden behind his featureless black mask. He was tracking a faint, rhythmic pulse, a dead signal emanating from a derelict freighter called the Icarus. Vane docked with the Icarus and stepped through the airlock. The ship was cold. The internal gravity was fluctuating, pulling him toward the ceiling every few seconds. But the ship wasn't empty. His visor shifted to a specialized spectrum, revealing the swarm. Energy leeches. Thousands of small, glowing parasites were clinging to the walls and cables, draining the ship's remaining power. They were the reason the Icarus was a graveyard. Vane moved through the dark corridors, his boots making no sound on the deck plating. He found Voss in the primary engine room, huddled in a corner, holding a data tablet and a low-power laser pistol. Voss looked like a man who hadn't slept in weeks. Vane didn't draw his weapon. He stood in the doorway, a tall shadow in a tattered cloak. Kalen Voss, Vane's voice echoed through the room, distorted by the cold filters of his mask. You are worth a lot of credits to a lot of powerful people. Voss looked up, squinting through the dim light at the hooded figure. You're Vane, aren't you? The one who never misses. If you're here to kill me, just get it over with. The leeches will finish the job anyway. Vane stepped closer. I don't kill, Voss. I collect. Give me the tablet and we leave. Voss laughed, a dry, hacking sound. The tablet? Is that what they told you? That I stole codes? Look at it, Hunter. Look at what they want to bury. Vane paused. His code of ethics was a shield, but it was also a burden. He took the tablet and swiped through the data. It wasn't codes. It was a list of names. Thousands of names. Civilians, political dissidents, and children, all being held in a secret, illegal labor camp on a moon called the Gilded Cage. The Hegemony wasn't looking for a traitor. They were looking for a witness. Vane stood silent for a long time. The energy leeches were beginning to swarm around him, drawn to the power of his suit and mask. The ship groaned, the metal complaining under the pressure of the nebula. If I bring you back, Vane said, his voice low, you will disappear. And this list will vanish with you. Voss nodded. That's the point. I thought I could broadcast it, but the nebula is too thick. The signal is dead. Vane looked at the tablet, then at the man. To deliver Voss was to satisfy the contract. It was the logical choice. It was the professional choice. But Silas Vane did not hunt for the Hegemony. He hunted for the truth of the chase. And the Hegemony had lied to him. They had tainted the contract. Vane reached into his utility belt and pulled out a small, high-yield explosive charge. He placed it on the Icarus's primary transmitter array. What are you doing? Voss asked. I'm changing the terms, Vane replied. Vane grabbed Voss by the shoulder and dragged him back to the Vesper. As they boarded, a Hegemony recovery ship emerged from the purple haze of the nebula. They had been tracking Vane, waiting for him to find the prize. They opened fire, their cannons tearing into the derelict Icarus. Vane didn't flee. He waited until the Hegemony ship was close, until they were certain of their victory. Then he detonated the charge on the transmitter. The explosion didn't just destroy the array. It sent a massive, concentrated pulse of energy through the radioactive nebula, using the ion clouds as a natural amplifier. The dead signal wasn't dead anymore. The data on the tablet was broadcast on every open frequency in the sector, carried by the radiation of the veil itself. The entire galaxy was now looking at the names of the prisoners in the gilded cage. The Hegemony ship tried to jam the signal, but it was like trying to stop a tidal wave with a spoon. The truth was out. Vane sat back in his seat, his gloved hands moving across the controls with mechanical precision. He ignored the frantic demands and threats coming over the radio from his former employers. Vane, Voss whispered, looking at the screens. You just burned your career. You'll never work for the Hegemony again. Every agency in the Corps will put a price on your head. Vane turned the Vesper away from the dying freighter and punched the engines. He didn't look at Voss. He didn't look back at the fire in the clouds. I don't work for the Hegemony, Vane said. I work for the contract. And the contract said I had to find you. It didn't say I had to keep their secrets. Vane dropped Voss off at a neutral fringe station, giving the man enough credits to disappear into the outer rim. Vane didn't ask for a thank you. He didn't wait for a goodbye. He flew back into the dark, alone. In his ledger, Silas Vane marked the Voss contract as failed. It was the first time in his career he had ever failed a capture. But in the underground bars of the rim, and the high-tech slums of the Corps, the legend of Silas Vane changed that night. He was no longer just the hunter who never misses. He was the hunter who watches the watchers. Silas Vane remains a ghost in the system. He still wears the black mask and the tattered hood. He still hunts the most dangerous targets in the galaxy. But now, when people hire him, they are careful what they tell him. Because they know that Vane isn't looking for the credits. He is looking for the truth. And if you lie to the hunter, you might just find yourself becoming the prey. This has been Apex Sci-Fi. Every man has a price, but some men have a code. If you enjoyed this first look into the saga of Silas Vane, hit that like button. We have 9 more hunts to go. Comment below. Would you have taken the credits, or would you have leaked the signal? Subscribe so you don't miss Vane's next hunt in 0G Requiem. The signal is live. The hunt goes on.